Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just 1 tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
Yes, good afternoon, family. Good evening. 16 minutes past 8 p.m. right here in the 254. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, easy Wednesday on your end, whether at work, at home, wherever you're catching this stream live from on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Karibuni Sana. My name is Jobit, the first time listeners and returning subscribers. Kindly hit that like button as you tune in, and I'd love to remind you to download our app, Black Hot Fire Network being the name, on the Google Play Store. And of course, through our app, you can be able to catch up with these shows on repeat through all our platforms. And of course, you can listen to us via the radio. In case you're not able to stream throughout the day, we have the radio station. So long as you're connected to the internet, you can be able to hear us 24/7. But Karibuni sana once again. And today we shall be talking about, of course, the European power and how right now, of course, we'd say a lot of empires are collapsing. So we shall be talking about that as I share a video of literally the current floods of everything that has been happening, floods and fires. When you talk about the control of the weather and the agenda of them literally just taking lands, not just because this is happening naturally. They're controlling the weather, they are putting in fires or starting fires in different regions and taking chunks of lands. And this is literally all orchestrated. And I think along that, we shall also be focusing back into what is happening in Africa, Burkina Faso, and the amazing things they're really, really doing regarding farming, and how actually a topic I was discussing on Monday. When you talk about the rate of unemployment in Africa, it doesn't make sense while we have a huge percentage of land that is untouched. So why are we not putting this into use? Why aren't youths being put into these sectors and regions to ensure that actually we have fluent production of food, and they to ensure that we don't wait on no Russia or Ukraine to give us food, or China or the US. Instead we're doing what is literally and producing what is organic, because it's sad that even this non-organic food now today, it's actually even gotten into Africa. I've been seeing various videos of people from literally, I'd say in Kenya, Mombasa, and different regions, probably in Tanzania, not sure, but I've been seeing the plastic eggs are now circulating. That is what most of the people right now are bumping into. The plastic eggs are literally now in circulation. So they're trying as much as, of course, as they can to take control of the food circulation, or I'd say food, and we know why. But along that, we shall be talking about also the Republicans who did vote to release Jeffrey Epstein files, and I'll be sharing much more on the details on that as we see how the House Republicans did block actually did block the release of the Epstein files, not did vote, but did block to vote the release of Epstein files. But before we get started, let me share some amazing organic supplements that you can get on the BHFN Sports page. And as we come back, I'll be starting with the current situation and growth agriculturally in Burkina Faso. Of course, I didn't really like the AI that narrated this, but you'll get the key points and the most important conversation on that particular video. For now, let's bring
Unlock
in
your full
focus.
potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Not just that, but we also have other amazing supplements. But without wasting much more of the time, straight to the conversation of the day.
La souveraineté alimentaire est le fondement de toute dignité.
Burkina Faso has just invested nearly $1 billion, not in weapons, but in seeds and soil, all with just one goal: never need foreign food again. Is this a desperate gamble, or the smartest rebellion Africa's ever seen? Let's find out. This wasn't just policy. This was a national strike on dependency. Burkina Faso, a nation often seen through the lens of instability, just flipped the narrative. While other countries beg for grain shipments and emergency rations, Burkina Faso is planting its solution, literally. The operation is called the Agricultural Offensive. But don't let the name fool you. This is not a soft rural development plan. This is a military-style mobilization of land, labor, and logistics to break the country's cycle of food imports and aid dependency. The numbers are shocking. Billions poured into local production, not to satisfy donors, but to reclaim power. Economic power, strategic power, psychological power. Why now? For decades, food in Burkina Faso was a source of national weakness. Almost 70% of its
Not just Burkina Faso, the whole of the African continent is facing this, where food production, of course, is a big problem. This is why you see videos that keep on circulating of children who are literally dying because of hunger and just looking pale because of not being able to eat or drink even water, leave alone even eating, even drinking water. It's again a system that has been created on purpose. But Ibrahim Traore is literally breaking this cycle, and I don't know when the rest of us are gonna get there, but slowly we're fighting.
food was imported or dependent on NGOs. Rice shipments came from Asia, wheat from Europe, corn, fertilizer, even poultry, all traced back to some foreign hand. Whenever a crisis hit, be it drought, war, or sanctions, the food system cracked. And with it, so did sovereignty. But something has changed. Since 2023, the tone of the government has shifted from survival to defiance. The $981 million initiative didn't come from a foreign loan. It was built from internal reserves, reallocated budgets, and emergency national funds. The message was clear. If the West cuts off aid, Burkina Faso will gain independence from the ground up. The operation has unfolded like a silent revolution. Thousands of hectares have been selected for expansion. Unused state lands have been reassigned to cooperatives. Forgotten valleys and dry savannas are being transformed with irrigation blueprints. The nation is being redrawn, not with borders, but with farms. What makes this moment historic isn't just the scale. It's the secrecy. The West didn't see it coming, and that's exactly how the Burkina Bay wanted it. While head
To Ricky, shout out to Jason in the building. I see Ricky with a question asking who did they buy the seeds and soil from? Could it be GMO food? Well, number one, when you talk about soil, that's a good question. When you talk about soil, let's start from there. I think, again, I had this debate on Monday. If not, if you guys can catch up with my show sometimes when you miss out, do, because there's a lot of information I do pass there as well, which I may not repeat on the Africa Today show. So when you can, kindly catch up with my shows. There's a lot of details. But on Monday, I did speak about agriculture. Africa holds or is sitting under $2 trillion profit when you talk about agriculture. And we've been importing $35 billion worth of food, that which is a lot. That is a lot of money, and this is every year. And I'm not sure if you're talking about literally, because 35 billion still sounds like, and looking at the amount of corruption, I'm not sure if you're talking about the whole continent or just a specific country. Looking at the amount of corruption, this is just a data written. But going back to the arable land, 60% of arable land, again, my question was simple: why do we have this rate of unemployment with this so much amount of land? Actually, if you can't create other sectors or industries where you can put people, then at least invest in agriculture. You know, invest in where, because people are going to eat every single day. That is just for a fact. People are dependent on food every single day. So imagine if you are actually the number one supplier of one, two, three things, and especially as a continent, the rest of the world is going to keep on depending on you. So why the soil? Number one, we're not buying any soil as a continent from anyone, Ricky. You need to understand that. As the African continent, we really, I always say, soil is part of our wealth. Soil is part of our richest mineral resources. Leave alone gold, cobalt, and everything. Soil is also part of our the wealthiest mineral resources. This is why you see them trying to introduce and the GMOs and the fake fertilizers or the chemicalized fertilizers that are going to completely damage our soil, so we cannot be able to grow the seeds the same way we could, without depending on them. Because if you look at our ways of farming, our fertilizers, we used to depend on manure which comes from cows, chickens, the cow dung. You just mix it together with other bunch of things and you have manure from there. You have fertilizer, you have literally everything you need. So I don't know where all these other things are coming from. But soil, we're not buying soil from anyone as a continent. That is one thing I do believe. When it comes to seeds, yes, we're seeing the fight of the GMOs being pushed into the continent of Africa. But one thing for sure is we still have much. It may not be that much, but I believe it's still much. I'm not sure how much, but I still believe it is much. We have so much indigenous seeds still circulating. Not so much could be found today, because back then growing up, we used to talk about yellow maize, purple maize, but these are things you can't even see. You can't see these seeds today. The purple maize, the yellow maize, these are maize, the red maize, these are maize that actually you can't see them, and they were coming from these are indigenous seeds. So if I'm to follow probably well and understanding Ibrahim Traore's strategy of leading Burkina Faso, because this man is moving with a strategy. He's not just doing things because they're supposed to be done. I don't believe he bought any seeds from anyone. I do believe probably, I don't know, if buying might be organic, not sure from who, but do trust me, we still have organic seeds within the African continent itself. We have the fight of the GMOs being pushed, but people are still holding dearly into the indigenous seeds. I don't know if I got my point across or if you understood, but yeah.
headlines were chasing coups and security stories, the real transformation was happening far from cameras, in rural provinces, along dry riverbeds, inside agricultural warehouses filled with newly imported machinery. Even more surprising, the decision to combine agriculture with
Actually, as a matter of fact, it's them who need our soil. It's the vice versa. It's them who need our soil, because you see, the UAE, China, India, All of them are planting food here and importing it back in their homes, while we import the GMOs. Our government imports the GMO. So
Security. In zones once dominated by insurgent groups, the government is now deploying farming units alongside local defense volunteers. Instead of rifles, they carry seed bags. Instead of landmines, they plant irrigation pipes. These fields are no longer war zones. They're the front lines of a new economic resistance. And yet, the world barely noticed. There was no panic in Brussels, no policy alert in Washington. They didn't see Burkina Faso's silent declaration: we will never beg for food again. This isn't just economics, it's a spiritual shift. For a people long told they were too poor, too unstable,
exactly, it's like I said yesterday. I think I mentioned this yesterday as well. This has been for so long a spiritual warfare. It's fast looking at everything is just spiritual warfare. When you talk about what is happening, why our lives are the way they are, it's all spiritual warfare.
too dependent. This billion-dollar move is a full-throated rejection of that story. Burkina Faso is now writing its own. But here's the twist. Where exactly is all this money going? What systems are being rebuilt? And who's leading this from the ground? You've seen the number.
People are getting paid. That is one. Employment has been created. Hospitals and roads are being created. Shout out to the mainstream media and other people trying to create this conspiracy theory of people are being forced into labor. No one is being forced. Burkinabe people are actually volunteering willingly, wanting to work and be productive for their country, because again, people are getting opportunities, people are getting paid, and not $2 or a dollar. People are getting paid well. The country is generating its own economy and it's growing super fast.
$981 million. But this isn't just a cash drop. It's a calculated rewiring of the entire ecosystem that feeds Burkina Faso. And to understand the scale of it, you have to leave the boardrooms and walk into the fields. Because here's the real secret. This isn't about producing more food. It's about controlling every inch of the journey, from seed to silo, from fish pond to frying pan. At the heart of this transformation is an idea that's long been missing in Africa's development model. Food is power, and power comes from ownership.
Exactly.
For too long, farmers were seen as passive recipients. Donors shipped in seeds, fertilizer came from Europe, and machinery, when it existed, was either broken or borrowed. What Burkina Faso is building now is something completely different: a domestic machine of production that answers to no outsider. Let's start with the inputs. The country is distributing its government-procured stockpiles of high-yield seeds, tailored for its climate. These aren't experimental trials. These are
I think also that answers your questions, Ricky.
battlefield tools. In places like the Boucle du Muhun and Centre-Est regions, rice seeds bred for dry terrain are being deployed with military precision. Behind them, pesticides and fertilizers, acquired in bulk through non-Western suppliers, are handed directly to farmer cooperatives, cutting out profit-siphoning middlemen. Next, the machinery. Dozens of container loads of tractors, power tillers, and motorized water pumps have arrived under state control. Not leased, not NGO-sponsored, fully owned.
Yep.
Mechanization isn't an accessory here, it's the foundation. It allows fewer people to cultivate more land, faster. But here's the twist. The government isn't just dumping machines into villages. It's building maintenance hubs across provinces. Young mechanics are being trained to repair and sustain the fleet, turning tools into permanent infrastructure. But even that's only half the story. Where Burkina Faso is playing the long game is in irrigation. In the past, farming here meant one crop per year, maybe two, if the rains cooperated. That dependence is dead. Massive trenching projects are underway to redirect water from small rivers and reservoirs into controlled irrigation grids.
Like kids said, we should have done this long time ago. Like with the video I was sharing earlier, so people talking about, oh, this has helped us do this and this. Come on, we should have done this long time ago. This is knowledge that was so known. It's crazy that this is knowledge that today is forgotten. Trust me, I get surprised. Because growing up, these are things, some of the things we talk about that right now we don't see. It's crazy how times just has gone super fast and people have just adapted to other new things, and that's okay. And it's not. We're completely shifting from the reality to the illusion itself. Like for real, we've really completely shifted from the reality of what is real to the illusion. Water irrigation, this is something that was so known. Having solars in your homes, this is crazy.
Solar-powered pumps now fields, pulling groundwater into previously uncultivable zones. Rain no longer decides who eats. The state does. And this control continues after the harvest. Faso's greatest leak wasn't what it failed to grow. It was what it failed to preserve. Post-harvest losses often ate up 30 to 40% of crops, but not anymore. The country is now installing solar dryers, sealed storage bunkers, and village-level cold rooms, ensuring farmers can hold their goods until prices are right and export if they choose. It's not just about food, it's about leverage. Farmers who used to accept whatever price they were offered now walk into the
You
market
gonna tell me you sent me a message again, Joby?
Okay, please, I told you buy a new phone, so please buy a new phone. Get yourself a new phone. Which phone doesn't get some
what,
message? At
what
least,
message did you send me, man?
oh my goodness, I got all
Okay,
your.
all right, you did. All right, you sent it. Yeah, okay, you
Oh,
sent it. Calm down.
get a new phone.
and pricing power.
You
In
get
other
a new
words,
damn phone.
they're
I will, but you get one first.
no longer just growers, they're economic players. And none of this happens without organization. Across the country, cooperatives are being legally registered, trained in finance, and connected to buyers through centralized
Yeah,
platforms.
for those who are just tuning in, Karibuni Sana, we're talking about the agricultural change in Burkina Faso. On Monday, if you did catch up with my show, I was talking about and questioned why is it that we have this rate of unemployment in Africa, yet we have 60% of untapped land. And then I also spoke about the potential of our soil. Shout out to Ricky with that question. And of course, also why they're pushing us to accept the GMOs and everything. But going back to the 60% of land again, why is it that we have this rate of unemployment, and why is it that we're still dependent on food from people who didn't know how to farm and their soil is pathetic? Our soil is the richest. That is just a fact. We have the richest soil. We should be considered as one of our richest mineral resources, but because we're not really taught well, because it also, I had to learn this by everything I talk about to realize that soil is one of our richest mineral resources. And that's why they want to bring the fake fertilizers, fake seeds, because they want to completely damage what is real. So you can go back and keep on depending on their stretchy plastic bananas and watermelons.
Yeah, well, you
So
got the best. Well, you have the
because for
best
so long,
land on the planet. That's the truth. But you got puppets. You got
Mhm. For so
puppets controlled by Europeans. Hey, that's why you. That's why. Why would Africa have to import food when you have the best land? So the question should have been asked a long time ago. But go ahead.
Exactly. I'm saying a very simple thinking is if these puppet leaders fail to create other industries of where they can create job opportunities to the young people, at least agricultural sector is something that you should not have said yes to being helped, the so-called help. You should not have given up your lands, someone else to come help you and tell you this is how you're gonna feed from henceforth. We think the real ugali is actually very bad. Now we want you to try the fake ugali. What do you mean?
When you have weak men running countries, shouldn't it be running a damn KFC?
It's sad that I'm saying I've grown up seeing most of these things being very active, but it's crazy that also in my time the same things have disappeared very quick. I grew up seeing farming very active, agriculture. People loved farming. People enjoyed seasons of farming and harvesting. I'm talking
Of
about
course.
mangoes, strawberries, watermelons, maize, beans, all these things, passion fruits. When I say you guys have grown up around fruits, I'm not even kidding. Like I've really eaten bunch of fruits.
Calm down, Joby. We believe you. Calm down.
I gotta let you know. Have you eaten bunch of fruits, Kate? Have you
Ever eat
eaten bunch?
who?
Have you eaten bunch of fruit growing up?
Well, say the probably not as much as you, but yeah, I grew up in California. California's a fruit growing area. So yes, Joe, I've had a bunch of fruit before.
Okay, but not like me, of course. So I gotta brag about it. You have it in plenty. But exactly what this
You
video
don't
is,
you don't you don't even like fruit. I don't know about you. Don't even like fruit. Get out of here. Like
I do like now, blended juice, instead of
uh,
taking fruits. So yeah, I have different recipe of mixing different type of fruits, and they come out very very good. But what this video is usually explaining is how
but I
Burkina
will
Faso.
say, but I will say, since Africa is considered right now the best soil on the planet, so the fruits over there would taste better because they're less herbicides and pesticides in the fertilizer. I mean, in the soil. So the fruits are
Yeah.
more natural than they would be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this video is explaining how Burkina Faso literally has become independent in its agriculture, of course, without the help of any NGO, no the IMF, no World Bank, not even any other African nation, just them literally using their resources and making this possible. We've seen them bringing farming machines, people have gotten job opportunities, and then I've been seeing, of course, some propagandas and conspiracy theories of some mainstream media saying that people are being pushed into labor in Burkina Faso. No, people are being.
Put been pushing like people are right now volunteering. See, because this how the world power must work. See, Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger becoming an outlier. Everybody's caught in the same wicked system. Since they broke away from the wicked system, they need how to kill them to bring them back to the same wicked system. So propaganda must go crazy. You have the military out there with the civilians for free, building highways. And
Mhm.
unlike any other African nation, the people love their military. They're out there laughing, joking with them, playing with them. They're not getting shot in the face like in Kenya. They're not getting a rubber bullet shot in the head.
Oh, in the
So,
leg.
and that's not AI, that's real. So,
Mhm.
so they got to keep putting out all this fake propaganda over them, but it doesn't work. Because people know. Inside the Bikini Faso, the biggest hospital has been open in Burkina Faso in West Africa. And there are gonna be many more other hospitals. So guess what? They ain't gotta go to Britain to die.
Exactly.
Huh? They ain't gotta go to Britain to die.
Exactly. It's crazy. You go to these expensive, crazy hospitals thinking that's the way to save your life, and you come back dead. Now your people are laughing at you because Nigerians are really laughing. That's the crazy part. Nigerians are mocking Buhari and his family like you guys thought your money could save you, yet you didn't deliver anything to us. So
Oh,
where's the
stop.
money?
Oh, did he tell you? Oh, I've let Nigeria better. What? Nigeria's a basket case. It's a failed.
Exactly.
It's not. It's a failed state. Completely
Exactly.
failed. The idea you're gonna invade Bikini Faso and Niger, that's a joke. Your country has failed. It's a failed
Mm-hmm.
state. You're not invading
Exactly.
anybody. And also
Exactly.
shout out to Mali. Mali just found. Remember, because when Europeans invaded Africa for the second, third time to create colonialism, they came in and burned down cities and buried them, stole manuscripts and books. That's why you had that white moron yesterday about other Africans didn't have any language, didn't have any books. Mali just found 800 books that they hid from the Europeans as they were invading 200 years ago. So the knowledge is astronomical, showing how the African, how the white man was still living in the huts, in Europe huts, thought the world was flat. They were mapping the stars. Also, Molly found all these ancient scripts, all these ancient books. So, wow. So when they go through, they've already read a whole bunch of eye surgery. The Africans were doing eye surgery over 1,000+ years ago when white people didn't even know how to wipe their own ass. And this white man telling you in Candace Owens' dumbass show, hey, the black people didn't know how to do nothing and we were sound crazy as cat shit. So they found those books where the African was already doing eye surgery over 1,000 years ago and has the procedure down written down. All these books were found in Mali, in Mansa Musa's kingdom. So there you go. Those books are found. So, because obviously the guy had to hide them when they were being invaded by the Europeans. Remember, they were burning and stealing shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, but I was saying this video is explaining, of course, how Burkina Faso has been standing alone without the IMF, the World Bank, and they're also talking about how for so long Africa has also been told because they create of they control the weather right now, manipulate the weather, which I want to share that video after this one before we get into the main conversation. But literally also so related because it's how they have been pushing so many narratives, but it's all for their own benefits at the end of the day. Like telling us, oh, you guys, Africa is going to have drought for the next 2 years. Who are you? Since when? We knew how to even predict our own. We knew our cycles of weather, if I'm really making sense. We
Yeah, that's
knew,
been cycle.
you know,
But you know
in
what?
In April, this is what's supposed to happen. Come July, this was supposed to happen. Come August, we knew how everything used to go. But today, it's crazy. You can't even predict weather anymore. That's the crazy part. Even today, you in Kenya, sometimes you wake up, you're like, it's not supposed to be hot. This hot. What's really going on? You know. These people have really completely messed up in January you expect to be it's supposed to be sunny as hell.
I'm gonna be
Even
warm.
yeah, it's supposed to be. But this January it was raining like crazy. It was raining here, and people getting flooded on.
Weather
People's house.
manipulation.
It's super super crazy. So I do love the fact that Ibrahim Traore is showing the rest of the world, hey, you've been lied to. You've been lied to. Everything is very possible. It's only your government that doesn't want to make things
Exactly.
for you.
Control. Controlled by
Mm-hmm.
your controlled by your colonial masters. Exactly.
Exactly.
Everything you told was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Digital mapping of farmland is underway. Satellite tracking will soon allow real-time updates on crop conditions. A rural data revolution is brewing in the shadows. So while the world debates whether aid should increase or decrease, Burkina Faso is doing
And,
something more
and, and
radical.
pause this for a second. So this is why they're scared. This changed all the narrative. Bikini Faso is developing so fast. If Africans were stupid, because they're only using Africans, they don't got Chinese, Russians. The Africans are doing it. They're the ones building the planes. They're the ones building the jet planes in Bikini Faso right now. They're the ones building the hospitals. They're the ones building the roads. They want building the phone factory, the cars, everything. They want building a new damn irrigation system. They want building everything. So if Africans were stupid, how is Bikini Faso developing this fast in 2.5 years? How is that possible? Because everything you've been told is a lie. Everything you've been told is fake and fraudulent. When left alone, Africans will always develop. Always. You don't have criminals stealing your money, stealing your resources. You will always develop because your first of all, that's your nature, and you will always develop peaceful societies. That's your nature. And see, that's why they don't want you to be able to have your own sovereignty, your own existence, because this proves all their lies are lies. It's an outlier. Bikini Faso's an outlier. That's why they gotta keep trying to kill his ass. This is an outlier. You can't call African people stupid. You can't call African people don't want to do nothing. Because, unlike these other bootlicks, there are no Chinese people in Bikini Faso building these roads. The Africans are building these roads. There are no damn Russians building the roads. The Africans are building the roads. There are no Europeans or Americans building shit. The Africans built all of it. So you can't say, you can't get back, oh, well, you know what? Even if it does develop, they're not the ones building it. They use Chinese and other people to come in and do it for it. It's not their railroads. Everything Bikini Faso is building is being built by them. They're engineers, they're mathematicians, they're aerospace individuals. Their knowledge is building it. And that's another problem why they got to kill his ass. This is an outlier to their lives. And they build it so quick. 2.5 years, he's done more in 2.5 years than all these puppet morons have done in 60. Make that make sense. Because they don't rule their country.
It's making aid obsolete. But who is driving
Say,
this
he had
transformation on the
no damn
ground?
aid,
Who's
exactly.
receiving
Aid.
these tools? And how are they making it work, region by region? To answer that, we need to meet the real force behind this movement, not the politicians, but the people. Let's pause for a second to say big thank you to the Black Culture Diary community, where Black voices, stories, and legacies are preserved and amplified. By becoming a member, you're not just
See,
supporting the changemakers, the
this
very ones
destroys
long
their
forgotten in
narrative.
every economic plan. The youth with no diplomas, the women sidelined from ownership, and the millions displaced by conflict. These are not charity cases in Burkina Faso's new food strategy. They are the ones leading it. At the core of the agricultural offensive lies a radical
Exactly, the people are involved. That's what I'm saying. The people are involved. This is why they even feel the need to volunteer because you are already involved, like super involved, and it's creating opportunities. It's paying people. It's not giving people $2, $1, go eat a
You're
ugali,
creating,
and then to come vote.
it's called you create an economy, Joe.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. It's generating. Burkina Faso is generating its own economy by what it's creating and doing.
social recalibration. If the state is investing in sovereignty, the people must become the sovereigns. And that starts by mobilizing the most underutilized demographic force in the country, young people under 30, who make up more than 70% of the population. The government isn't just employing youth to dig ditches or guard farms. It's offering them a long-term stake in the food economy. Training centers are springing up across the regions, offering hands-on skills in everything from tractor operation to cooperative accounting. But perhaps the most revolutionary shift is this. The youth aren't just learning to work for farms, they're learning to own them. Land redistribution programs are quietly reallocating unused state plots and conflict-abandoned fields to youth-led collectives. In exchange, these collectives must prove output capacity, maintain water infrastructure, and reinvest profits. It's a military model applied to agriculture, results, not rhetoric, and they're delivering. In the Nord region, a group of displaced youth from the town of Jibo now operates a fully irrigated onion and pepper farm with solar drying units and cold storage financed by the Food Sovereignty Fund. Within 6 months, they've not only become self-sufficient, but they've also started exporting to nearby towns and hiring others. These are former
Yeah,
victims
see,
of fear,
that's how
now armed
Zach,
with
that's how
tools
you
for
educate them, so now they can pass this knowledge on to the next generation. Because now you're gonna have farming on an industrial level. So you wanted to import anything. So that's old scam. They got Africa in a subsistence scam thing where the parasites in Europe and the rest of the world parasite off of Africa. You got to get the parasites out of you. Same way you got to take herbs to get the parasites off your body. Africa's got to get the parasites out of their body.
far more powerful than weapons, stability, income, and land. But it's not just about young men. Women, long relegated to informal roles in production, are being brought into the core of the food economy. Through new cooperative frameworks, women are gaining legal ownership of farms and processing units, especially in sectors like poultry, dried fruit, and shea butter production. In
Exactly, because these are things that women used to actually know. But like growing
Of
up as a woman,
course.
seems good in this. But in most of now African countries, women are not allowed in these sectors anymore. It's the men who
Crazy.
rule
Crazy.
everything. They have
Well,
land.
well, that's why your country's backward. You can't cut off 50% of your population economically, then your country's gonna be backward. At least he understands and knows that you can't keep your women docile and dumb.
Mhm.
Bobo Dioulasso, women-run mango processing groups are leveraging solar dehydration units to produce export-grade dried mango slices. They're no longer waiting for buyers to show up. They're contracting ahead of season and negotiating with regional distributors. And they're doing it as owners, not laborers. Meanwhile, in areas destabilized by insurgencies, the government is pairing agricultural work with community defense. Internally displaced persons (IDPs) are being given the chance to rebuild their lives through productive resettlement zones. These zones are secured by local defense units and equipped with irrigation, housing, and starter kits. Instead of camps filled with aid, these are towns built around food. What makes this shift extraordinary is that it's not just about filling stomachs, it's about rebuilding identity. For a generation that grew up during the collapse, farming is no longer the job of the poor, It's the job of the revolutionary.
Exactly what I said on Monday. They have pushed this narrative to now to so many youths. This is why you see youths are literally moving away from the villages
Cities.
where you're supposed to be controlling that land, farming, start up a business through that particular farm. But they're like, nah, this is a poor job. You can be touching. What do you mean? I need to go become.
Farming, farming makes you wealthy, Joby.
But like I'm saying, that narrative, like even us, I think us Dimore, and probably maybe his group of friends have different type of reasoning, but I've really had bunch of people. This is something very common. Farming is a dirty game. It's a dirty job. I mean, I
I don't
can't
care
do
if it's
farm.
I don't care if it's a dirty job. It makes you rich too.
I know. Okay. Anyway, let me continue.
The social cohesion impact is also undeniable. As young people plant crops together, build market plans, and share equipment, a sense of shared future begins to bloom. Radicalization loses its grip. Migration slows. Families return. This is the long-term peace dividend of food sovereignty. It makes people want to stay, invest, and defend where they are. But behind every plowed field and packed truck, there is a question of efficiency. Are these efforts sustainable? Can smallholders match the productivity of industrial systems without collapsing under pressure? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to Identity. Let's continue now. While boots are hitting the soil and farmers are commanding machines in the fields, another battle is unfolding quietly in laboratories, training centers, and behind digital screens. It's not as visible as tractors or irrigation canals, but it's just as revolutionary. Burkina Faso is now betting on something the old system never imagined: science-led sovereignty. In the
Right.
past, Africa was sold as a myth. That modern agriculture meant copying Europe's model, importing expensive chemicals, leasing foreign
Oh,
machines,
you
and
don't need
relying on
chemicals in Africa.
international experts to tell farmers what to
Exactly.
grow and how to grow
Exactly.
it. Burkina Faso is burning that playbook, and instead, it's building a technology ecosystem rooted in its environment, its climate, and its people. Let's start with what would have seemed impossible a decade ago: nuclear science in African agriculture. Through a partnership with the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) and the FAO, Burkina Faso has joined the Atoms for Food initiative, a global program that uses peaceful nuclear technology to improve food systems. But this isn't some experimental side project. It's already operational. Using radiation-based methods, local scientists are now analyzing soil quality at the molecular level, identifying nutrient deficiencies invisible to the human eye. This allows for ultra-targeted fertilization, minimizing waste, saving money, and boosting yield. It's called precision agriculture, and in a country like Burkina Faso, where every hectare counts, it's a game changer. But nuclear methods don't stop at the soil. They're being used to control pests without harmful chemicals, using what's called the sterile insect technique. Male insects are rendered infertile in labs and released into the wild, dramatically reducing pest populations without poison. It's clean, it's sustainable, and it's Burkinabe. Beyond atomic science, digital innovation is quietly infiltrating rural life. Farmers in pilot regions are now using mobile-based platforms to track weather patterns, check soil moisture, and get early warnings on diseases. These aren't Silicon Valley apps. These are
Oh,
custom-built tools designed
that
by
guy gonna
local
see this
engineers
video
and
that Joe be showing gonna say this is AI. This is bullshit.
researchers who understand Sahelian realities. In many regions, drones are being deployed, not for security, but for crop surveillance. Flying above test plots, they scan growth rates, spot water stress, and detect early signs of disease. With this data, agronomists can guide communities on what to plant next, where to rotate crops, and when to harvest. It's turning farming into a science-backed art form. Even food preservation is entering the tech zone. In partnership with local universities, solar-powered dehydration chambers and airtight, biodegradable packaging systems are being developed. These extend shelf life, allow transport across long distances, and open up export opportunities without expensive cold chain logistics. In essence, they turn a mango into a marketable asset, not just for a week, but for a season. Meanwhile,
This looks healthy. This is some good mango.
youth training centers are transforming into innovation hubs. Young Burkinabe aren't just learning how to plant, they're learning how to design irrigation systems, fix drones, code agri-apps, and
Now
build
pause it. Now pause it. Now
next-generation
pause it. Now
storage.
pause it. Pause it. Pause it. Pause it. So Joby had a thing today when they were showing the Chinese came in, yeah, came into southwestern Kenya, and they're going to build agriculture. I mean, irrigation in the river of Lake Victoria. You should have been did that 60 years ago. So he gets there 2 years ago. Said, "Yeah, we're going to build irrigation." Yeah, he should have been did that. And he not used those Chinese people to do it. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Joe.
Units. In many rural regions, farmers are now hiring local techies to maintain their equipment, giving rise to a new rural tech economy. What's truly remarkable is the mindset shift. Farming is no longer seen as manual labor. It's becoming a technical profession, a skilled trade, even a national calling. And because of that, youth who once fled villages for cities are now returning, not with desperation, but
Exactly. Youths who fled the city, exactly what I said. Because this is something that, this is a narrative that, I don't know if
It's
people are,
AI, Joby. It's
yeah,
AI.
it's a, yeah, it's a, yeah.
with plans,
Of course,
prototypes, and
it's
power
called
grids.
hope. You come back and actually build. That's why youth are coming back. They come back and
Burkina
start a
Faso
business
is
for
proving
themselves.
something radical.
But
Africa doesn't need to import innovation. It can
nope,
build its own. And by embedding science into soil, the
no
country is
Chinese,
creating
no
not just
Russian, do it
food,
themselves.
but a future. But there's one
Build
more
an
frontier
economy.
left. If Burkina Faso is building a new internal system, how does it plan to defend it against external forces, foreign
Exactly.
markets,
I'm
donor
about to say,
pressure?
if they're building it, they're coming to get somebody's coming to see them. Okay? Get out of line. You don't be poor and fucked up as an African. I'm coming to see you. You don't be backward and impoverished and use your stuff to benefit you. I'm coming to see you. Exactly. Who's coming?
Or
Go
even
ahead, Joe.
sabotage? The
Yep.
answer lies in the politics behind the food. By now, it's clear that Burkina Faso isn't just growing crops, it's growing independence. From machines to seeds, from irrigation to storage, from satellites to nuclear tech. But underneath the tractors and the science labs lies the final layer of this transformation. It's not agricultural, it's ideological. This is not just a policy shift. This is a rejection of the international food system as it exists
Exactly.
today.
Rejection of
And that has
rejection
made
of the
powerful
cats. That's a rejection of the cats who run this planet, and they're gonna come see you. They're gonna spy. They got spies all around there trying to destroy shit. Hey, go ahead, Jim.
nervous. Because Burkina Faso is not quietly feeding itself, it's making a loud political statement. We don't need you anymore. To understand the stakes, you have to look at how food has
You
long
never
been
had
used as
neither.
a tool of geopolitical control. Across the African continent, when drought hits or instability spikes, international donors arrive with containers of wheat, rice, or powdered milk. The optics look like generosity, but the
It's
fine
not.
print often reads like submission, free food that undermines local markets, distorts prices, and keeps governments reliant on yearly appeals. Burkina Faso has decided to walk away from that model, not gradually, but decisively. It's cutting import bills, slashing foreign food aid programs, and publicly framing its food strategy as a matter of national security, not humanitarian assistance. This isn't just semantics, it's a pivot from dependency to sovereignty. President Ibrahim Traore's administration has openly stated that a country that doesn't control its food supply will never be truly independent. That message has echoed across the Sahel, finding eager ears in neighboring Mali and Niger. Together, these nations are beginning to form an unofficial bloc, linked not only by military transitions, but by a shared economic philosophy: produce locally, feed internally, trade regionally. By the way, we have launched merch that
Yeah, but anyway, that's the video over there. Literally, shout out to Ibrahim Traore. Shout out to that amazing young leader, doing amazing. We need much more of that. Not shoot on the leg, not telling us the country is the sixth largest economy, and yet you're doing amazing. Not
Yeah,
telling us.
yeah. Bikini Faso ain't the sixth largest economy in Africa, but but it's doing more than Nigeria and Kenya. I tell you that. It ain't the
Exactly.
sixth other than those fake ass numbers. We're the sixth largest economy, and ain't nobody got no jobs. What are you talking about? Get out of here, moron.
Crazy, but shout out to Emily in the building. Shout out to Ricky once again, Jason once again. Emil says they are GMO themselves. That's why they love GMOs. And I also see Jason says, I love fruits, especially plums, straight out the backyard. That's nice. I've not had plums in a while. Dang. Okay, I'm gonna look for plums. I've not had plums in a while. I love plums. I do love plums. I love plums. I love
You
pears. I love
oh, you love plants, Toby. Okay, now you love plants, but you
yeah.
haven't had plants in a while. But
No,
you love them, right? But you love them.
it's seasonal. It's seasonal. I see what you did there. It's seasonal though. It's not just a
Now
season.
you can go plant in your house. They're not seasonal all the time. You can always have nice plants in your home, Joby, because
I
it makes
know
a home a house.
I know grapes are available all the times, but plums here it's seasonal. That's what I know
Oh,
personally.
plums. I thought you
Yeah,
said plants. Okay, okay, plums. All right, yeah, yeah. Plums are seasonal. That's right, they are.
yeah. So I've not seen that in a while, but if I find them, I'll get them. Emil says, doesn't Tinibu hate Traore? He's a huge bootlick and got some
Yeah,
tremendous.
yeah, he hates them. He said you Nigerians better not say nothing about him at all. He'll lock your ass up.
Someone also say some of the tools the hospitals use came from the ancient Kemet, right? And Association San Kenon Karibu Sana hope you're doing great today. He said, Ali, happy 78 to your mother, Jason. All right, that's what's up. And also see,
Oh, your mom's 78, Jason? Oh, happy birthday to her. Wow.
mhm, yeah, that's nice. May she age gracefully. And I also see
Yeah.
Sankenon says, Keith, turn that mic down. Baron Scott Karibu Sana, Real Constrictor
Oh,
Karibu.
shout out to whoever sent the $7. I don't know who sent $7 to the network. You know, it's gonna take three of them gonna take up in fees, so it's gonna be like $4. But hey, every little bit counts. It's like $7. Who sent
Yep.
this? Don't let it hurt you now. But I appreciate
Oh my
it.
God, Keith. We appreciate. I see Joseph is
Hey,
yep.
$7. Don't spend it all in one place. Go ahead, Joe. Let me stop.
Is the African Union stealing Black American identity? Hmm? The African Union stealing Black American identity, getting money from the DNC under reparations. Yes, this is one of the African Union websites. They got Black American.
Nah, nah,
Yes.
nah, nah, nah. That's the morons on TikTok. They got it wrong. The, what they're trying to say is the African Union targeting Black America for funds. Got every moron on YouTube and on TikTok claim every African American moron claim it, and that's not the case. The African community, the sixth region. And half the morons tell you didn't even know. Hey, how do we know? What do you mean by the sixth region? You've been the sixth region of the UN. I mean, of the AU for over 20 years. I think you like 2005, 2003. They want to put the diaspora as part of Africa, so you could have claim to the African continent. That was the reason why they did that. So you would have ownership to your ancestors. But why would you be upset? Because most of you Negroes say you're Indian anyway. You say you're not even African. You niggas claim you're not African, then you get mad if they put you in the African Union. They did that to say you would have claim to your place where your ancestors came from. It wasn't a money scheme. This is over 20 years ago. You're taking something from the Essence Fest. Oh, they have to get our money. Have to get. You ain't got no money to build. Show me the shit you built in America. You keep telling me you're trick these morons on TikTok, morons on YouTube. Show me the shit what Black Americans built with their 1 and 8 trillion dollars. You don't own no schools. You can't say the HBCUs because you don't own none of them. They were started by white supremacists. Every last one of them. You don't own no grocery stores. You don't own no cab companies. You don't own no bus lines. What do black people own in America? Not a goddamn thing. So there's no way anybody can focus your spending power because you only got it focused. So no one can come and steal money from you that you don't even got. The Arabs are in your community stealing your money. You ain't saying about them. The Asians in your goddamn community stealing your fucking money. You willfully give them your money. You ain't stopped going to your Chinese stores. You ain't stopped going to your Arab stores. You ain't stopped going to your fucking Indian store. You find your fucking hair weave, your lashes, and all that shit from Asian people. The hell you talking about? Sound like a complete fucking moron. The Africans are trying to steal our money. They're trying to come steal our money. They want our $1.8 trillion. The AU wants that. How they gonna get it, stupid? How they gonna get it? You're not organized. The African American dollar is not organized. That's why all the Asians get your money. All the Arabs in your community at the gas stations eating your fucked up food get your money. Where's the African American money organized? But like I said, a lot of you are stupid. You just spew some shit some moron says on YouTube. Listen to another moron say some stupid shit. Yeah, these morons. I didn't even know we was part of it. Who decided? We didn't vote to become part of AU. Who told us that? Moron. You've been part of AU for 20 fucking years, you idiot. Now you figured out because you mad about the Essence Fest. You're arguing about the Essence Festival. Some niggas partying on shaking their ass for 3 days. You cried about that. That's some economic gain or loss. You don't own shit and you ain't built shit since civil rights. Huh? So no one can tap into the $1.3 trillion except unless it's organized. It's not organized. So never worry about it. You go every day you go to your little Chinese store, eat your fucked up Chinese food. You don't cry about them getting your money. You go to your same Arab corner store every goddamn day in every black neighborhood. Hell yeah, the black man told you to get your black ass out the Chinese Korean store. In Chicago, you didn't want to get your punk ass up out of there. Oh, I'm not. He told you, hey, these Asian people have been rude to other black women. Come on up out of there. We're going to smash this place up. You sitting there looking all stupid. I'm not leaving. I'm giving these Chinese people all my goddamn money. I'm giving these Koreans all my money. But supposedly the African is cooking up a scheme to get your money. Are you a fucking moron or what? That's how I know this is a CIA op. Because it's all of a sudden, let me see something, guys. All of a sudden, and it's a bunch of it, there's somebody behind pulling the strings. And this has been a bunch, all these morons on YouTube and TikTok. Every last one of my videos on TikTok, on my feed, is about this hate Africa shit. And I'm an Indian. I'm an Indian, and how dare the AU put us in this line under the bottom. They're trying to steal our money. What money? And listen quick, morons. For money to move, it must be organized. Where is Black America organized? Their money for power. I wait. Show me where's that. You can't even find a political candidate, and you talking about your money. What political candidates do Black Americans fund to go to Congress to represent them? Not a goddamn one. But you want to tell me all the Africans are trying to steal our money, get our $1.3 trillion. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? They can't get you 1.4 trillion. You know what? Because the Arab man in your neighborhood got it. The Asian man down the street at your fucked up hair and nail store got it. You can't even stay cold in America telling me some goofy shit. Do you go to black-owned places? No, you don't. No, you don't. You go to black-owned nail and beauty? Did you buy your wig from a black person? No. No. Tell me about no damn $1.8 trillion. Sound like a fucking moron. And I've already told you, dumbasses. By the year 2050, your money's going to go to zero, dummy. See the black jobs you got, little fake money you got? They're going to put robots and AI on your ass. So, within the next generation, what are you going to do then? Put this up for me real quick. This for all you fucking morons. I told you, I teach, and then I break your motherfucking back. this up, Joby. Say, article says by 2050, black Americans' buying power will be zero. Pull it up. Oh, you morons, some people trying to steal your money. And I'm going to explain something to you, dummies. Because you've been taught by because you're emotional. You don't know nothing because you got morons on the internet telling you stupid shit. But you can't show me what they built. What they built? Show me what they built. Oh, nothing. I built my YouTube channel, my TikTok channel. Show me what you built.
Report by Prosperity Now and the Institute for Policy Studies.
Share your screen, Joe, but share your screen. Okay.
A report by Prosperity Now and the Institute for Policy Studies projects that median wealth for Black Americans could reach $0 by the year 2053 if current trends continue.
Trends? And you ain't saying $0. You're gonna be zero. You're going from a trend to zero. Okay, let me tell you this, moron. Okay. Let me explain something. You got a changing world environment. White people's ass that you kiss and the penis and the ball sack you want to put all down your raggedy throat. Their system is starting to collapse. Okay, I'm gonna help you out here. Because a lot of you gonna be, you stay poor, you come from poverty and ignorance, and you're gonna die in poverty and ignorance. Let me explain something to you, stupid. Okay. So hate for African people because you hate yourselves, and you're an Indian. I'm not gonna get into the dumbass Indian conversation with your moronic ass. Because to be an Indian, you must have continuation of culture. You will see in Black American culture, it's a continuation of Africa. This is what Joe be doing, the little Jola process is jambalaya, how it's a continuation. It's a continuation. I'm not going to get into that because most of you morons don't even know what that means, cultural continuation. Most of you morons don't even know what that even means. I'm not going to get it. You look at what's the damn thing it's called? Excuse me. I'm the brain for that. What's the thing it's called? Damn, I can't forget what the thing's called. They got them, it started in Africa, they got them in America with the faces on them and shit and all that. Well, I can't remember those things that come out of the brain. Anyway, that's not where I wanted to go anyway. But because this economy is collapsing in the United States, I'm America, okay? This economy is collapsing, guys. I know you morons on YouTube and TikTok don't know that. And so everything is going to be shifting to the global east and the global south. The cats with the hats already know that. I had Joey read that document and say we're going to leave America and we're going to focus on Asia. You know why? In Africa. You know why? Because the economies are going to be going to Asia and Africa. So your morons are going to be impoverished in a few years. You're going to be zero. Your fake buying power that you never organized is going to be zero. You're going to be empowered. Then you're going to be in the wild, wild west with these racists shooting you in the head because you're all going to be broke. But see, you don't know none of this shit because you built with your goopy hate to African people. You got that hate. They try to steal your $1.8 trillion buying power. Steal what? It's not organized, it's not focused, so it's worthless. Buying power is worthless, morons. You don't got a $1.8 trillion of owning nothing, dummy. Okay? Owning power is bigger than buying power. Everybody knows that except you morons. Okay? They have ownership. You don't have ownership. And so what's going to happen is since the economy is shifting towards the east and the south, because everything comes from the global south means Africa. Africa has all the resources that nobody else has. And Africa has the youngest population. Africa's going to boom whether they like it or not. That's where the new millionaires are going to be found, in Africa, which you hate. Okay, your impoverished is going to be here. You're going to be impoverished here, okay? Because you don't make shit no more, and all the wealth is moving out the country. You don't have a manufacturing base anymore. So all manufacturers going to the east and to the south because it's going to be cheaper to build manufacturing in Africa because of the development problem. Everything needs to be developed. So most it just blows my mind, the xenophobia and hate, because you're stupid. Most dummies are always xenophobic. Okay? They're not trying to steal anything from you. They're saying, okay, let's tap in for partnership. And I get it. Because some of your fears are valid. Because I heard you guys said some actual valid things, even facing xenophobia. Say, well, why should we give them our money? They don't even treat their people worth of shit over there. They don't give a damn about their people. So how are we going to give them our money if we don't get no ownership? And when we get over there, they don't give a shit about their own people. Granted, that's true. Now, that's a valid statement. I can deal with somebody coming with a valid statement. But that's why you have such unrest now, because, like it or not, the continent is changing. Okay? These bad leaders are going to be gone in the next 5 or 10 years. They're going to be out of power. Okay? That's why it's a new scramble for Africa. Nobody's scrambling for the United States. The scramble's on again for Africa again. You don't understand that? That's a fact. The re-scrambling of the planet is Africa. Who controls this continent controls the wealth of the planet. So what the AU was trying to do in good standing, morons, was trying to give you ownership to the continent that at least most of us know we came from. Not you goofy. You goofy Indians can stay and be fucked up and be broke. You goofy moronic Indians who have no really can't show me no cultural continuancy. You morons can stay here and be broke and effed up. Good luck on you. Okay, you're trying to steal our money. Good luck to you, dummies. So the new frontier once again is Africa. That's why they're trying to kill this man in Bikini Faso. That's where the world's wealth is at. So with a dying population in America, that's why sad fact, that's why they bring on these illegal aliens in, because America's population is dying. Right? And they didn't want to, and you're in a corrupt system, they don't want to pay anybody. So since Africa's got the youngest population, let me say economics to you. You must have a population big enough to buy the products that you make. Old people don't buy shit. Young people do. Young people do trends, fashions, and innovation, not old people. So America getting older, Europe getting older, money's going to have to go east and really south, because even Asia's getting old. So if you're going to produce any kind of products, you must have a viable middle class to purchase said products. And so Africa is the perfect breeding ground for the next economic boom globally. It has the youngest population, it's underdeveloped, there's cheap labor. That's going to be the fastest growing middle class. So the African Union set your moronic ass up to have ownership in the continent that your ancestors came from, dummies. Not as a scam, because they did it over 20 years ago, way before Essence got sold. You think it's about the Essence Festival? All this moronic ass shit. They did this over 20 years. Put this up for me, Joker, real quick. Come on, put this up for me, Joker. Say, when did the African Union create the sixth region, the diaspora region? What year was this? All you have to do is do some research. So this way before supposed to be trying to steal money from you.
They're saying that the African Union recognized the global African diaspora as its sixth region in 2012.
2012?
2012, yeah. And this recognition came from the declaration of the Global African Diaspora Summit in Sandton, Johannesburg, South Africa on May 25th. The AU officially affirmed the diaspora legitimacy and created a platform for engagement within the organization.
So 13 years ago, so this wasn't a scam to take your money. This is 13 years ago they acknowledged that we got to start incorporating the diaspora. And when they mean the diaspora, they're not talking about America. Do you know you got more black people in Brazil? I know you think you're special black people. Okay, I get it. You're not the only black people, morons, in America. You have black people in South America that's more than you. So they said the diaspora, right, Joe? They said the diaspora, right?
Yes.
The diaspora means Jamaica, Haiti, Brazil, Colombia, Barbados, Trinidad, Suriname, the diaspora, Canada. You're not the only diaspora. They're not trying to get you. The diaspora. You're not the only diaspora. And then, like I said, most of you Negroes talking that shit says you're not even from Africa, so why are you fucking worried about it? You should shut the fuck up because it ain't even your goddamn topic. You should shut your filthy ass mouth because it ain't got nothing to do with you fake ass, pretending ass Negroes. Don't talk to your Mongolian brothers. Don't do that. This ain't got nothing to do with it. This is for people considered to be part of the diaspora, not your ass. The diaspora means Brazil. There's 100 million black people, Africans in Brazil. There's only 50 million of us here in the United States. We're not even the largest part of the diaspora. We're the second largest. We're the richest. Yeah, we're richer than the people in Brazil, but we're not the largest. They get money out of Brazil because they try to scheme on money. All this other crazy shit. They were acknowledging that you're an African descendant and you have right to the continent. That's what they were telling you. They said Africa belongs to you as well. They were being included. They were trying to develop a scheme to steal money from you. Your money is unfocused, non-organized. How can they steal money from people that's not organized? What are you talking about? Oh, your YouTube morons and your TikTok idiots didn't tell you that? They just keep pushing this fake hate shit. It's a scam. Why they? What? Is their fault you didn't know nothing? Is it their fault you're stupid? You know you're part of the African Union? You didn't know that? Is their fault you're a dummy? You only know that because you're concerned about the Essen Festival? Now you know that? Because of the Essen Festival, you found out you was part of the African Union. And they're not talking about just your stupid ass. They said the diaspora, which is not only you. The diaspora means African, but most of you motherfuckers say you're not African, so why are you even worried about it? You're an Indian, so that don't even pertain to you. You're an Indian! Why are you worried about African shit? You're an Indian! And if you're an Indian, shut the fuck up. It's got nothing. They said the diaspora. They didn't say no diaspora Indian niggas. They said the diaspora. People who think their lineage goes back to Africa. They said nothing about you Indian niggas. So shut your goddamn mouth. What about somebody saying, oh, the diaspora, did we vote to be part of the diaspora? Ain't you an Indian? Why you care? Well, because you're stupid. Shut up. Diaspora doesn't just mean America. Of course, they said they wanted to tap into this funding, $1.8 trillion, but tap it in how? We're not organized. We can't even organize it for ourselves. So how can the AU organize $1.8 trillion of spending power when we can't even organize it for ourselves and build anything for ourselves? Okay? You screaming and hollering about them trying to steal your money. What money, moron? Your money's unorganized. You ain't crying, like I said, you ain't crying about the Asians stealing your damn money at the damn beauty supply store and the fucked up wigs you got on. What are you talking about? You ain't crying about the goddamn Arab man giving you fucked up meat in his corner store and the bad cigarettes you buy from him. What are you talking about? But supposedly people that look like you, if you're African, now you pretending Negroes, Not none of you fake ass pretending Negroes who ain't never built shit. And you're not gonna build shit because you're all morons. You don't know how to organize shit. You're still on the internet talking shit, and you're broke as shit. So I ain't gotta worry about you pretending Negroes. I know you ain't got a passport. Worry about the AU. Don't worry about the AU. You ain't gonna be able to get to there. You ain't got no passport. So don't worry about it. As Joby told you, 70% of you Negroes ain't got no passport. So shut the fuck up. Don't it concern you. Damn moron. So nobody trying to steal any money that's not organized. Hell, the Arabs are the ones stealing your money. The East Indians are the ones in your community stealing your money. Did you ever complain then? I ain't heard you motherfuckers say a damn peep. Can they get you black women out of the goddamn Korean nail store and hair store when they call you a nigger to your face? Call you a nigger to your fucking face, and you'll go back on there when they say they got a discount on weed. You'll have your black ass back up in the next day. Ooh, a discount on Yaki weed? Ooh. Didn't this lady just call you a nigger, a trifling nigger bitch in your face? Yeah, but now she's got a discount on weed. Ooh. Ain't she stealing your money? Ain't she stealing your money? Yeah, but it's a discount, child. Shut the fuck up. Fucking moron. Go ahead, Joe. What do you want to show? What's this, Joe?
I'm gonna share the first video you shared with me as well.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I wanted to talk about as far as Europe's decline and how it's a rescramble for Africa. Okay? Because Europe now does not make anything either. They have no natural resources that came out of Africa. So them coming out of Africa through colonialization and being able to get control of Africa gave them their wealth. All right? And then their racism, with all their fake movies and stuff, yeah, you think white people have been rich. They come from poverty, and now they're going back into poverty. So now they must keep a hold of those African colonies. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so let me share this one.
Empires in the history. The United Kingdom used to be one of the wealthiest empires in history, but today it's drowning in debt, unable to pay its bill, and also struggling to feed its own people. And here's why. And apart from London as well as Southeast England, the country as a whole is stagnant, struggling, as well as shrinking. And England already has sky-high taxes, and it doesn't want to raise that anymore. And it also doesn't export much compared to other countries like Japan, China, or Germany. And the sad part here is that England doesn't have much natural resources left as well, and the only thing it can do now is borrow. And in 2008, the UK borrowed more than $141 billion to bail out its banks. And over the next 15 years, England would have no real growth, investment, or stimulus. And many economists call this the lost decade. And disaster after disaster also piled onto the country. Brexit cut foreign investments by 25%, and COVID added another $300 billion in debt. And we also can't forget about the Ukraine war, energy shortage, as well as another $100 billion in borrowing for emergencies. And as a result, the UK has to pay roughly $100 billion every single year just on the interest for its loans. And this also means less funding for healthcare, schools, as well as infrastructure. And you can say that the UK doesn't really produce anything anymore. Instead, it's simply borrowing. And as a result, the country is slowly.
So that's the first.
Okay, if you pause that right there. So that's why they got to keep control of Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, because without those countries, all these Britain is done. Britain is done, right? And no, to answer your question, Ricky, no, he never sent him. He sent money to Joby though. Joby never to the network. He sent Zoe sent money to Joby. Yeah, well, that's the truth. He sent money to Joby. He sent money to Joby and Kate. Not no more. But he ain't been around for 3 years. So he ain't sent no money to the network. What made you think about that, Rick? No, he ain't never sent no money to no network. No, he sent money to Joby and Katie when he was, when he's been sadly being a simp. He never sent no money to the network. No.
I love simps. It's good to have a simp around you, especially if they know how to spend. It's a good one, man. You can let go of that one. Keep them around.
Anyway, like I said, what made you ask that shit, Rick? Anyway, I don't know who made you ask that. Now the answer is no, Rick, never. But to Joby got his money. Katie's got his money. I never got none of his damn money. His money said, "Find me to me, find me."
Got it. Oh,
Anyway, so you have Europe dying. I told that. I'm going to explain these more economically. Europe and America are dying. That's why you had the big, beautiful bill stealing everything as the economy collapsed. Okay? America and Europe are dying economies. This is a fact. They're not going to be salvaged. They're done. So I told you you're going to have a shift naturally to the global east and south, really south, because the east is going to be dying too because of the population uh, 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 distortion. Chinese are dying faster. The Japanese are dying faster. But Europe doesn't make a damn thing like America. They don't make anything. See, the scam of them being a power, except for weapons, but it was still Africa and the wealth of Africa in the world because of the weapons, because of their brutality, their warlike nature. And so that's coming to the, I mean, they're not going to stop being warlike, but them having complete control of everything is coming to an end. And so Britain is going to collapse eventually. France is almost got 1 foot in the grave. Germany is going to go bye-bye. These European countries are going to go to where the dodo bird because their economies are garbage. And all of them are being propped up by Africa. And now you got that's why you got the crackdown in Kenya so bad. Shout out to Dr. Mummy put a video about Ricky G being summoned. Like he said, been summoned to the White House. And he's trying to claim that they trying to put him out in front of Gen Z in Kenya. He said, "Hey, Gen Z, we need to calm down." And the Kenyans know, who made you the leader? Who told you speak for us? They're trying to find another puppet to put in front of that protest. This Ricky G dude in Kenya. He was called to the White House.
yeah.
And he tried to come back and tell the youth to calm down. They say, "Who the hell are you to tell us to calm down? You ain't in charge of nothing." So, because they thought they were going to, use him to be the puppet and get in front of Gen Z, but that scam doesn't work because they're scared. Them losing Africa loses everything for white people, the West. They're done. They're fake white supremacy. All of it crumbles. It's all fake. It's all based on African people's backs. And so what you have right now, them crumbling, France is crumbling, all these countries are now crumbling. But they're in the background holding on. So all your leaders and the youth, especially Kenya, they're waking up and say, "Hey, our people don't really control our countries." Play the next one, Joe. Yeah. Play that one right there for me.
Series of questions, you listen very attentively. Who's writing Nigerian's laws? Because it's not Abuja anymore. Who exactly is writing the laws that shape your life in this country? The ones that determine what food is approved for your table, what vaccine is injected into your body, how you are taxed, and how public funds are spent. Is it your elected lawmakers in Abuja, or is it foreign agents hiding
No,
behind
Rick,
the
I don't know
government?
who sent that stuff. Pause it for a second, Joe.
Because
No, Rick, I don't know who sent the $7. I said, I don't know who sent it. I don't know who sent it. I said, thanks for the $7, but I don't know who sent it. They got anonymous. I don't know who sent that. When you send dollars like that, the credit card agency takes $3, so we get like $4 of it. But I don't know who sent it. I'll just send shout whoever sent the $7. But go ahead, Joe. But see, this is Nigeria. Understand that they don't write their policies. He's gonna tell you, like Kenyans, that bill didn't come from Kenya. That came from the IMF and these other white people. They didn't come from no damn Ruto in the Kenyan parliament. It came from other people. Go ahead, Joe.
just came to light is deeply disturbing, and it should alarm every Nigerian and every African. Okay, so recently, a document released during the just concluded 10th National Assembly Open Week from July 8th to 10th, 2025, revealed that Nigeria's National Assembly is not operating alone. Wild. Sitting quietly behind them are organizations tied to the CIA, M16, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Pause that. Now, what you gonna say? He said the people that controlling Nigeria are the same thing CIA. These bills, CIA, because they know America's gonna collapse. They know Europe is gonna collapse. But to stay in power, they gotta keep Africa, because that's where everything's going. The AU gave you the invitation. They made you part of Africa. They said you have a right to Africa. We're trying to scam you 12 years ago, 13 years ago when they decided to do that. And then do the Essence Festival that you're screaming and crying about. That means shit. That don't mean shit. Yeah. Are we supposed to guard our culture? Yeah, but so what? Your
Means
thing is gonna be how can we build businesses. What you should have been doing is saying, how can I link up with Africans since they have the best fruits and vegetables? How can I start building African American markets in America where I can cross import with Africans and get wealthy? That should have been your mindset. Oh, you try to steal my Essence Fest with the Jollof rice and jambalaya rice. What? You out of your fucking mind about what rice is being served? Your mind was supposed to think about business. How can I tap into the African market and create a market here and trade? That's what the Asians are doing. All the Asians then took over Jamaica. Jamaica is gone. I've been to Jamaica is gone. Cause you know what this Jamaicans say? Are you Jamaicans better than? Are you Chinese Jamaicans better than the Chinese in China? Now they ain't saying that. That's always nigger shit. Black people with nonsense. The Chinese have taken over Jamaica, taken over the ports, and now they import. Now they wiping out all the Jamaican businesses. Remember, China's the number one manufacturer. So now that the Chinese got the Jamaican now control the ports, they control what gets shipped into the country, and it goes to their shops, not the Jamaican shop. It goes to my shop. So now I'm getting rich off your back. Now you got to come to me and buy your goods and services from me. So I control your ports, and I control where it comes from in China. So I get the prices cheaper, and I get them in here, and I can shut you down because you can't go there and get the same prices from the people that look like me who make the shit. Okay? And you sitting there arguing about who's got the better rices, a Jollof or jambalaya. Who gives a shit? Fucking moron. Go ahead, Joby.
security, and tax policies. Yes, you heard me right. Foreign actors are now directly shaping the rules and system we are expected to live under. Let that sink in for a moment. This wasn't uncovered in some hidden corner. It was boldly printed in an official government brochure, and I read the files myself. These foreign organizations are not just consulting, they are being positioned as co authors of our national policies. Now, pause and think if outsiders are helping to draft the very laws that govern our food supply, our public health, and our economy, who truly governs this country? Especially in a time when GMO is flying up and down. When people hear Bill Gates, they think philanthropy, weak minds. But when the same foundation starts shaping public health policy across an entire continent, that's no longer charity, that's control. Quiet, well funded, systematic control. And it goes deeper. In Ghana, the IMF is not just offering loans, it's dictating reforms that weaken local industries and cut social services. In Kenya, Western funded NGOs are directly influencing what's taught in schools and what seeds are planted on farms. In Uganda, donor funding is tied to laws that shifts the cultural fabric of the society. Across Africa, the same script is playing out. Foreign influence dressed up as support, while our leaders smile for the cameras and hand over the keys. And here's what's worse. Most young Africans have no idea that this is happening. They are completely oblivious. We are kept busy with trends and distractions while our sovereignty is being quietly outsourced. We call it democracy. We don't control the decisions. We call them representatives, but they are taking instructions from places we didn't even vote for. and we call it progress, when in truth, it's just repackaged dependency. Think about it. If someone else is writing your policies, controlling your economy, and influencing your health system, then what exactly is left for you to decide? Let's be honest,
Nothing.
this isn't partnership anymore. It's puppeteering. Yes, that's what it is. And until African youths, yes, African youths, I'm talking to you, and until you start asking real questions and demanding real accountability, this cycle will continue and nothing can be done about it. The sad truth is, our leaders have sold the pen and someone else is writing our story. But the question is, when will we take it back? Well, I'm here as a messenger. My name is Izuman. This is Chronicles on Power. And until I
Yeah, so that's the second video. We share the third one. But yes, I mean, that's what has been happening for so long. It's not. It's what
True.
has been happening for so long. Everything has been controlled. What do we control? Like, what do we control? What do we control? Our mouth. That's the only thing we control. Our mouth.
That's it.
I don't know
That-
what we
That's it.
control of resources.
And they
Our
don't want,
mouth.
and they don't, and they don't you do, and they don't want you doing that either.
Exactly. They don't even want us to control our mouth anymore. They are watching what we have to say with our mouth. This is crazy, but the narrative is slowly changing. Slowly changing. This is the third video. Listen to this lady.
Yeah, racial profiling is so surreal, you guys. So I'm cycling. I'm already at 10 or 15 miles. I pull over, so I pull myself over so I can text my mom and tell her this business idea I just had personally. So I'm over here on the side of the road
So,
texting my mom.
so this has nothing. So pause that. This has nothing to do with what I'm
Right,
talking. I want to tell you how America's never going to change, right? So since you say you all Americans and blah blah blah, and all this shit, as Malcolm X said, it ain't more out than America than fool. You say, oh, I'm American. We're American. White America doesn't see you as an American, no matter how much you scream and holler about being there for the last 400 years. So what? Country doesn't see you as American. So I only put this in there to show you the more you think things change, the more they stay the same, really. Because all this young lady was out doing was riding a bike, and somebody called the police on her, say, hey, there's a Negro lady riding a bike, right? And so the police came after her for riding her bike, which is not illegal, and asking for her identification. She doesn't know she doesn't have to carry identification. So what the police told us a lie. It's only because she's black, right? So this is not going to stop you morons. Keep saying, I'm an American. I'm here. I'm more thing with white people. I'm with America. I'm American. All this other shit you've been saying. Their hatred for us is not going to stop. Okay? That's not going to stop. So you try to pretend that you're an American, to me, is moronic. Because their hatred is not going to stop. So, like I said, this young lady was just mind her business riding a bike, which is not illegal. And somebody called and said she's riding a bike in the street, which she's got the right to do. And then she started being told, where's your ID? Who are you? Where you going? Where you coming from? I ain't got to tell you where the fuck I'm going and where the fuck I came from. What the hell are you talking about? But remember, the Constitution doesn't apply to us because we're black. Even though it's constitutional, she don't have to answer any of your goofy questions. Her being black is now the problem. So I want to say, all you morons about you an American and blah, 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 and all this shit, that's other nonsense. You're not treated as no American. You're going to be treated like this black woman here in America. Go ahead, Joe.
my head is down like this texting my mom, and something just said, look behind you, check your surroundings. You know how you get that intense feeling? So I look behind me and it's a police officer. So I'm just like, okay, what's up? He's like, well, I got a phone call. You came from that way, Taylor. And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I got a phone call that you're cycling in the middle of the road. And I said, yeah, it's not against the law to cycle and take up a whole lane myself. He was like, yeah, it's not against the law. I said, I know. Like, so he's like, but they said you were on your cell phone. And I was like, yeah, I was recording my cycle. And he's like, yeah, you can't do that. It's against the law to do anything distracting while cycling. And I'm like, okay, cool. I put my phone up. That's why I pulled over to text my mom so I can tell her my business idea. But yeah, I'll put my phone, I won't record my cycling if that's the problem. So then he was like, yeah, so let me get your name and your ID. You got, and your ID. I said, I don't have ID. I'm cycling, sir. Like, he's like, you don't bring no ID with you? And I was like, no, sir, I'm cycling. So he was like, yeah, you need to have ID with you at all times. I'm like, okay, I got you. You know, I'll have it next time. But he was like, so where are you going? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, well, where are you coming from? And I was like, back there, Taylor or whatever. And he was like, so where are you going? I said, sir, I don't know. I just hop on my bike and I go for miles and hours. He was like, yeah, you can't be on your phone and you need to take your headphones out. Cool. Okay. He said, you can't have no distractions. Cool. I get it. So then he like, yeah, so no ID, and what's your date of birth? So I gave him my date of birth. I gave him my name. He's like, yeah, you gotta have ID on you and no distractions. Take your headphones out. No cell phone while cycling. And I'm just like, okay, sir, I got you. But cool. So then he was like, yeah, so just be careful. And yeah, so he walked away, and I'm just like, yeah, cause like, what the fuck, bro? Now he's following me everywhere I go. Like, I rode down here to Walmart, and now he's at this car wash all of a sudden, and I'm just like, with his lights on. So I'm just like, sir, like, what did I do? I'm black and happy and cycling. Like, I took my phone out to record my cycling. Okay, I don't have it the whole ride. Then I put my headphones in, and it's a problem. Like, so I get it. I'll take my headphones out, and it's like racial profiling is so fucking surreal. It is sad, and I feel like now I don't feel safe cycling. This is fucking crazy to me. And whoever the fuck called this in had to be like, I'm out here.
Hmm.
You know who called it in? White people. Talk about whoever. You know who called it in? You're just riding a bike down the street, which is legal. but you were riding while black. So all you morons keep thinking that things are going to change in America, and you don't have the power to change a damn thing. So has your $1.8 trillion buying power stopped them from racially profiling you, stopped them from shooting you in the face, shooting you dead in the street like a dog? Where does that happen? Huh? The fights you have are moronic, but I know it started from us. Know it starts from clandestine agencies like the CIA, FBI, and it put out there. And then I know I see some at the amount I'm seeing it. I know it's clandestine. CIA, somebody's putting out there, and then the moronic ass black people jump on it because they're dumb as hell. They don't understand psyops. They don't understand being used. They don't get it. They're all in their emotions, and most of them are dumb as shit. Don't understand history. Don't understand science. So they're just going with a narrative of hate, hate, hate. Same way they do with the South Africans. You think it's some plot to steal from you? Plot to steal what? Still what from you? What are you talking about? Sound crazy as cat shit. Still what? Nothing to be stolen because you give your money freely to people that don't even look like you and me. Huh? Am I lying? Go ahead, Joby.
All right. So here we have the last video you shared.
Yeah, I have many more, but it take all day.
As a boy growing up, I loved James Bond movies. I remember watching them and wondering, how come there are no black spies?
Mhm.
And I would tell myself,
Now pause this. Now pause it.
maybe
Pause it.
black people are
Now this is controlling the narrative. How they push a narrative because you're always dealing with self-hate. And they hate other people that look like you and they claim they're not even you. Now you're an Indian. They're not you. Look just like your ass, but they're not you no more. Okay. Whatever. Totem pole. That's what I was trying to say. Totem. Most of you morons saying you're American Indian, you don't even know totems or what is your totem. You don't even know that totems come from Africa. The disconnect of you idiots is mind-boggling to me because you don't know anything. totems, which you have in America, is African culture. Comes from Africa. You don't even know this. But you say you're not African. Even your fake Indian culture came from Africa. Even that fake shit came from Africa. That's called cultural continuation, which you morons don't. That's a big word for you morons. You know what cultural continuation is. That's a culture, you know it's continuing because you know that culture. That culture continues, and you can see. That's why we know Jollof credit jambalaya. That's cultural continuation. They know it has an origin. Jambalaya don't come from no Indian shit. Sorry, you American Indians. None of the stuff we eat comes from any American continuing culture. Isn't that funny? See, but you guys can't never put that argument out there because you don't even know what that means. To say you a certain thing, you must have continuing culturalization. You can't say you lost to do a slavery because we were enslaved too. And how do we get African continuing culture then? I'm asking that question. Go ahead, Joe. I want to share one more video with you. Go ahead, Joe. We play that one.
They would stand out in a crowd. But here's the twist. White people only make up about 7% of the world's population. Did you know that? Let that sink in. They look like they're everywhere, right? No, they only make up 7% of the world's population. So why does it feel like they're the majority? Why do movies, TV shows, magazines, and even the way we draw maps make it seem like they take up most of the world? I'll tell you why. Because they've mastered the narrative. Think about it. From Young and the Restless to Friends to Gilmore Girls, the cast were always 90% white. You'd occasionally get a black or Asian character, usually a sidekick, or someone who gets killed off quick. It was always subtle, but constant. And every story said, this is who matters. Even the maps lied to us. They were designed to make the Western world look bigger than it actually is. For example, here's a fact. America is the same size as the Sahara Desert. Yes, it is. But they made it look like it was bigger than the whole of Africa. Nigeria alone has 220 million people. That's 3/4 of the US population in just one African country. So what does that tell us? That the person who controls the story controls the perception, controls the mirror you look into. And this is the most important part. Controls how the world sees you, and worse, how you see yourself. The person who owns the pen writes the history. The person who controls the lens shapes the image, including your image. And the person who designs the map shapes the power. So before I go, you are not small. You are not the side character. You are not the exception. You are not the footnote in someone else's
You're
book.
the main character
At
like
least look
Joby.
in
You
you.
stud.
We can
You need
see
to
what
have
they're
main
doing.
character syndrome.
You are the author. They just gave you a blank page and a borrowed pen. Now go take it back. And remember, write it in your own language. Let's move.
Yeah, so that's the, let me share the last one you shared.
Yeah. Now I got one more before the last. Play that one. I got play this one. Play this video last. Right here. Okay. So this is for all you pretending Negro. I told you, and this is what me and Joe was talking about. If I talk about something, the creator always brings it to me. You Negro, you fake pretending Negroes never mention the Gullah Geechees ever. If you've been here, you're an Indian. You Negroes never. And I'm in the area where they're at, South Carolina, Georgia. I'm right in the area. The Gullah Geechees know they're African. They know they're African. Their linguistics so goes back. Their English mixed with their African language back from what we call Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, that region where they came from, Mali area. Still, is in there, and they still kept some of that. So they mixed that with the English. So we know linguistically they go back to Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Senegal. We know that's a fact. Well, you morons say slavery didn't happen. We never came on ship. That's a white man's lie. We're American Indians and we're American. You never mention this nigga right here. Like he said, I know you don't mention because I know these people. That's why I brought them up. We were talking about this the other day. You fake pretending Negroes never mention the Geechee Gullas. Never. Because it's unidentifiable that they came from Africa. You can't even pretend. They'll laugh in your face. Go ahead, play it, Joby. You morons.
See, that's the thing. Like, whenever these people have these conversations, like whenever you see folks spitting like fake history, or you see people trying to disconnect Black American culture from its African roots, the people who are doing that are largely uneducated on history. And that's the reason why they either always leave Gullah Geechee people out of the conversation and Caribbeans leave them out of the discussion.
Pause that, Joby. I told y'all that yesterday, day before yesterday, Monday. I told y'all that. And this video popped up today from me. I told y'all that. They always leave out the Geechee Gullas. They got to leave them out because they're documented back to the African continent. Documented. Their linguistics, everything. These people come from Mali, with present-day Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Guinea region. That's a fact. And they know that. So you're not going to tell him he's a fucking American Indian. You're not going to tell him no shit like that. Because most of you morons in America, Black America, you ain't know about the Geechee Gullas. Because you never been nowhere. You might have been growing up in LA, growing up in Chicago, growing up in Houston. You don't know nothing about the Geechee Gullah people. Because that's not part of your region. So when you get talking to American Indian, and the Geechee Gullah coming in and break your back, you look crazy as hell. Because you don't know no real history. You just spout some shit you heard some other moron said on a TikTok or YouTube video. Because you are an idiot. Certified. Go ahead, Joby.
Or they have to make up some kind of lie to fit their narrative. You can't say that Black Americans have no African roots and then like just sit here and ignore, you know, the word okra. Sit here and ignore Gullah Geechee people and our accents. Sit here and ignore the way our elders talk down here. You cannot sit here and ignore the fact that, you know, Jamaicans say words like Inyam and Bakra just like Gullah people do. You can't sit here and ignore the fact that Gullah Geechee people understand Bahamian Creole. We understand the way they talk. You know, some of us can even tell the difference between the Caribbean accents because we know how they speak, because we speak a language that is very similar.
Similar because they came from the same regions of Africa. Exactly. They can understand the Jamaicans because they came from the same regions of Africa. They're probably part of the same tribes but broken up. That's why they're right. I said they never mentioned the Geechee Gullas. Never. They want to pretend, how did the Geechee Gullas get it? You had some morons trying to say they was American Indian. The Geechee Gullas say you out your fucking mind. We go back, we can name the damn cities we came from in Africa, moron. Go ahead, Joby.
And talk about the similarities between Southern Black American culture and Caribbean culture without acknowledging the fact that those similarities come from ancestors who came from the same place. Because if our ancestors were not from Africa, how do you explain all of these things that exist in our culture that have
That's what he's saying. He's saying cultural, for all you morons, that's called cultural continuation. Well, I just explained to you idiots, you pretending ass niggas. That's called culture. He's explaining cultural continuation, which Joby shows without even know she's showing that. The stuff that I didn't know. That's called cultural continuation. So if he's American Indian, he can have no cultural continuation from a Negro down on the islands in Jamaica or Barbados, like he said. He does because they originate from that same region in Africa. That's why. You fake pretending Negroes disgust me. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, let me share the last video. This one is literally over.
So okay, so this goes back to the root of what we're saying about Europeans. So you have the Portuguese, which is a poor country, right? Portugal is a poor country, but back when it was conquering Africa, that's how it got its wealth. And now that it started losing African, Portugal's back to what being poor. So Portugal knew it was going to be poor, so they didn't want to let go of the colonies the way Britain and France did. Pretend they never let them go. Portugal knew if we pretend to even let them go, we're going to be impoverished. So they created these wars in the 70s to try to hold on to Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea as long as possible. Because European wealth is, excuse me, guys, Europeans' wealth is dependent on African imprisonment, colonization, and poverty. So if Joe pulls up Portugal, she will see that Portugal is one of the poorest countries on the planet again because it lost its African colonies. Portugal is impoverished. Like England's about to go back to be France, Germany. That's where they came from. Like the brother said, forget their fake ass movies. They come from poverty, and without Africa, they go back into poverty. Go ahead, Joby, play that.
Okay.
Portugal chose war. By the 1960s, Britain was withdrawing and France was collapsing in Algeria. But Portugal, it did the unthinkable. It launched 3 wars across Africa to keep its empire alive. And for 13 years, it fought the most violent, ignored, and costly colonial wars in modern history. Portugal was ruled by Antonio Salazar, a hardline dictator who believed that Portugal's destiny was colonialism. He didn't call them colonies, he called them overseas provinces. Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, not African nations, but part of Portugal proper. And giving them up, he said, would be national suicide. So when Africans demanded independence, Salazar did not negotiate. He sent in troops, napalm, tanks. But the colonies fought back. In Angola, the MPLA rose up. In Mozambique, it was Frelimo. And in Guinea-Bissau, a movement led by Amilcar Cabral, one of Africa's greatest anti-colonial thinkers. And these weren't ragtag rebels. They were disciplined, organized, and inspired. Many had Soviet or Cuban support. And they knew what they were fighting for: land, dignity, freedom. And Portugal responded with scorched earth tactics. They burnt villages, used chemical defoliants, and built up forced settlement camps. Civilians were caught in the middle, starved, displaced, and tortured. Portugal conscripted 800,000 soldiers, most of which were poor rural boys who didn't want the war in the first place. Some served for 3 years in brutal, unfamiliar terrain. Many didn't return at all. At home, the government was collapsing. Launching 3 wars had a massive impact on the economy, and the people were fed up. The government censored the press, but the coffins kept coming. And in 1974, junior army officers rose up and overthrew the dictatorship in a peaceful coup. It was called the Carnation Revolution, named after the flowers that they strapped to their rifles instead of using bullets. After, Guinea-Bissau declared independence. So did Angola and Mozambique soon after. But independence came fast. Too fast. There were no plans for transitions, and it left...
Yeah, because the CIA is a power vacuum. So the CIA came in there to make sure they kept control of Africa.
USSR, Cuba, and South Africa all got involved, and millions died. Mozambique faced its own decades-long war, and these are the aftershocks of colonialism. And yet in Portugal, many people don't even know this history. It's watered down, not taught, forgotten. But in Africa, the pain is still there, in scars, in graves, in silence. Portugal's empire did not end peacefully. It ended in fire, and the whole world looked away.
Because of the Africans. Now, ask Google this, Joby.
Okay.
Say, is Portugal one of the poorest Western European countries? Is Portugal one of the poorest Western European countries? We know Portugal controlled Brazil, Africa, wealthy. All these colonies made it wealthy. Is Portugal one of the poorest Western European nations? Okay, Joe, we got something, yeah?
Nah, I'm having a very crazy headache. I don't know. All of a sudden,
Uh-oh.
at Portugal is the poorest country among Western European nations on.
What? What, Joby? It had an empire in Africa. And now they lost Africa. It's one of the poorest nations, Joby. The white supremacist country of Portugal is now poor?
Its minimum
My. Huh?
its minimum wage is also below the EU average despite recent increases. While many Portuguese are struggling, the government is in, in Lisbon have rolled
Lisbon
out
and Lisbon as the capital Lisbon.
red
But
carpet for
Joby, these are white Europeans, Joby. The white Joby. The white Joby.
it's their time
The
to
white Joby.
it's the time to suffer. But as we literally get to wind up,
Much love, family.
let me go through the comments very
Go ahead.
quickly. I see John Mosquito in the building, Karibu Sana. Hope you're having a great day. Jason also said earlier, Joby would be a millionaire within 1 year, especially around California seems. I know that's right. I mean, come on. I'm creating.
Joby won't even push back on that. God damn, come on.
Hey, how will you not take advantage of a simp who's ready to spend money? I mean, I'm not missing that advantage. Trust me. I'm never gonna miss it. Plus, I'm pretty. I'm young. I can do whatever I want. So please, I'll see.
Joby, you're so full of modesty.
I'm so humble. Look how humble. Joe Mr. says it wasn't me. I normally send $2 and half, $2.50, and now to see Joe Mr. says we still have it. Whoever controls the ports controls the movement of wealth.
Of goods.
Ricky also says when
Exactly
I'm
right, Jenna
cycling,
Mosquito. Go ahead, Joby. Sorry, go
recording,
ahead.
I always have an ID. I get to the accident. He says when I'm cycling on the bike and recording, I always have an ID in case I get into an accident. John
That's
Mosquito also
smart. That's
says
your choice. But
young.
that's your choice. But that's your choice, Ricky. That's your choice, Rick. But I'm saying you don't have to do that. Smart, just in case you get fucked up, but somebody needs to know who you are. I get it. Some white supremacist runs your ass over, and don't nobody know you are. They can grab your ID. I get it. But like Joby said, is it a must? No, it's not a must.
It's not. Joby said South African loan. Man, anywhere the money comes, anywhere the money is coming from, I don't care from South Africa, whether it's from whatever zone. Yeah, where it is coming from, I need it. I need the money. But anyway, this was a beautiful day. Of course, hope to see you next week. I'm not gonna be in tomorrow and on Friday. So
Joey's not gonna be. Joey's not gonna be tomorrow and Friday, guys. She's gonna be a parent. Got teacher parent conferences to go to.
yeah, responsibilities are calling of being
Yeah,
an adult.
she can simp some money out of these teachers.
I can do it. If
See
I
if
can do
Joby
it,
can.
I'm
See
gonna
if Joby can simp some money out of these teachers. Remember when Joby was young, Joby had the teachers fighting over. Joby was taking their money.
That's when
When Joby was in high school, Joby had the teachers simping over and taking out. They was taking all their money.
I love it. Literally, I've never eaten no school food. I've never eaten my money. My dad sometimes didn't give me money. I was like, yo, cool. I've got sponsors at school. Like, I never so good, I don't want no goddamn teacher.
I know, but hell,
You see them
even broke simps give money. What's up?
I'm not getting that from a broke one. You trying to not giving me money, so I don't want someone who's trying. I want you to give me money. But anyway, much love, family. Have yourself.
What's up, fam? That second one, what's going on, brother? I know you said what's going on that second one. See you in a minute.
Yes. See you guys next week. Of course, have your a good rest part of your week, and of course, good day too. Much love and peace.
Oh, wait. I know you guys don't talk shit, but I had to get a new computer. That's why I didn't come on last week. I came on the week before. I'm back, so I will be doing the show Friday and Saturday night. You know, don't talk. I'm back for good. We're not for good.
Period. But shut on Sunday, man. He's been working hard.
Before Rick says bullshit.
Yes, much love for you guys.
Much love, fam.